Picture this. You have finally pulled the trigger. You've got that one-way ticket to Haneda Airport sitting in your digital wallet. You're landing in Tokyo,
Mm-hmm.
and in your head you have this, very specific, very cinematic vision.
Oh, absolutely. It's the montage moment.
Exactly. You're waking up in a sun-drenched apartment, maybe sipping a perfectly whisked matcha, looking out over a skyline that is this perfect blend of Blade Runner neon and, I don't know, peaceful, ancient shrines. It
Yep.
feels romantic.
It does. And honestly, for the first 48 hours while you're in that honeymoon phase, it feels exactly like that. But then Monday morning hits,
Right.
and you decide, okay, time to find my own place. And that is when the romance slams directly into a brick wall.
A brick wall made of very polite, very confusing paperwork.
Paperwork, unexpected cash demands, and a little economic phenomenon we like to call the Tokyo rental paradox.
I like that. So that's our mission today. We are doing a deep dive into the reality of moving to Tokyo. We're basing this on a stack of guides, specifically the report Tokyo is affordable until paperwork starts, and some data on extended stay solutions.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people assume Tokyo is financially impossible. Like New York or London levels of, I'll never afford a closet here.
Right. And based on our source material, that assumption is actually wrong, or at least it's only half the story.
That's the paradox, isn't it? If you look strictly at monthly rent, just the recurring bill Tokyo is shockingly manageable.
I've seen the numbers. It's surprising.
Yeah, you can find a decent apartment for a fraction of what you'd pay in Manhattan.
Yeah.
But, and it is a massive capital B but, the barrier to entry is colossal.
So the rent is cheap, but getting the keys is the expensive part.
Precisely. It's a front-loaded system. So today we're going to decode that entry process.
Yeah.
We'll break down all those hidden costs that can equal half a year's rent before you've even spent a night there.
And we'll get into the job interview style application process, and I hope some strategic workarounds.
Oh, yeah. Especially for business travelers who just cannot deal with that level of bureaucracy.
We love a good workaround.
Hmm.
But we have to eat our vegetables first. Let's talk sticker shock. The source material mentions a specific rule of thumb. What's the magic number I need?
The 4 to 6 month rule.
Ouch. Okay. Just to be clear, you're saying I need 4 to 6 months of rent in liquid cash.
Yes. Ready to hand over on day one.
That is wild. Usually you're thinking first month's rent and a security deposit, maybe a little broker fee. But 6 months, where is all that money going? Is it all, refundable?
I wish. But no, it's a cocktail of fees. Some you'll recognize and some are. Uniquely Japanese.
Okay, walk me through it. Let's itemize this pain.
Let's start with the basics. You have your shikiken, that's the security deposit.
Okay.
Standard stuff, usually 1 to 2 months rent. This is the part that makes sense to us. You break something, they fix it. If you don't, you mostly get it back.
Okay, I'm with you so far. That's global standard.
Then you have the Reiken.
Reiken. This is the one that always trips people up. I've heard the horror stories.
It translates literally to key money. But a more accurate translation is gratitude money.
Gratitude money.
It's a mandatory, non-refundable payment to the landlord. A gift.
Wait, a gift? I'm paying you rent. My thank you is the monthly check I send you. Why am I giving you a gift?
It's a fascinating historical holdover. It dates back to post-World War II, when housing was incredibly scarce. You paid extra to say, thank you for choosing me. It was basically a bribe that became a custom.
But the housing shortage is over. Tokyo has plenty of housing now.
The shortage is over, but the custom remains. It's sticky. It can be anywhere from 0, if you're lucky, to 2 months' rent. And just to be clear, you never see that money again.
That is a tough pill to swallow. It feels like lighting money on fire.
It is. So you're down a deposit in key money. Then you have the agency fee, another month's rent plus tax.
And I assume we aren't done.
Not even close. You have the guarantor company fee. We'll get into that in a minute because it's a whole other beast. But it's another half to a full month's rent.
Okay.
Then mandatory fire insurance, around 15 to 25,000 yen. And then my personal favorite, the lock exchange fee.
The lock exchange fee, like to change the lock on the door.
Exactly. You pay 10 to 20,000 yen for them to change the locks, which, to be fair, is a good safety practice, but it's just another jagged little pill on the bill.
It feels like they're nickel and diming you, but with $100 bills. So let's do the math. The source had a hypothetical. A nice apartment, rent is 130,000 yen a month.
Right. Which is what, roughly 850 to 900 US dollars?
For a world-class city, that is a steal. You can't get a parking space in San Francisco for that.
Exactly. But you stack up the deposit, key money, agency fee, guarantor fee, insurance, lock exchange, and the first month's rent. That initial check you write is going to be nearly 1 million yen.
Nearly a million. That's almost 7,000 US dollars.
Correct. So even if you can afford the monthly fulfillment, if you don't have that massive pile of cash, you can't get the apartment.
That's a huge hurdle. It's not about income, it's about capital.
It's a liquidity test. And once you pass the financial test, you enter phase 2, the paperwork marathon.
Oh, yes. The source mentioned that getting a flat in Tokyo feels like applying for a high-security job.
It really does.
Yeah.
Japanese tenancy laws are incredibly protective of the tenant. Once you are in, it is very, very difficult to evict you.
Ah, so the landlords are terrified of getting a bad tenant.
Exactly. They are incredibly risk-averse. They want to know everything about you before they hand over those keys.
So what's in the dossier? What do I need to prove I'm worthy?
Everything. Passport, obviously, your residence card, and a key detail is you have to have the physical card. No, it's coming in the mail.
Okay.
Then, proof of employment. A contract stating your salary, your position, your tenure.
What if I'm a freelancer? Or a digital nomad?
That gets tricky. The source warns freelancers face a much higher rejection rate. They might ask for tax documents from the previous year, which you won't have if you just arrived. But the biggest hurdle for foreigners is the guarantor.
Right. This is the catch-22. Explain the Hoshonen.
So, you traditionally need a joint guarantor. This is someone who legally promises to pay your rent if you disappear or go broke. For a Japanese person, this is usually their father.
But if I just landed yesterday, I don't have a Japanese uncle.
Exactly. And you can't just ask a Japanese friend. It's a huge cultural imposition, a massive financial liability. You just don't do that.
So if I don't have an uncle, am I just homeless?
No, this is where the market stepped in. Enter the guarantor company. That's why that fee exists. You pay a corporate entity to act as your uncle.
So I'm paying a company to promise to pay my rent if I don't pay my rent.
It sounds circular, but yes. It solves the problem, but adds to the cost. It's an insurance premium for the landlord's peace of mind.
It seems like every solution just involves paying another fee.
That's a fair assessment. And then there's the other catch-22. To open a bank account, you often need a registered address. But to get an apartment, you often need a Japanese bank account.
The classic chicken and egg.
It is navigable, but it's stressful. Requires a lot of running around.
Okay, so let's assume we have the money, the patience, the corporate uncle. Now we have to decide where to live. The source breaks this down as a classic battle between your wallet and your commute.
It is. You have the budget options, the central expat options, and the lifestyle suburbs.
Let's start with budget. If I'm hyperventilating about that million yen cost, where am I going?
You're looking at the outer wards. We're talking Adachi, Nerima, Katsushika, Edogawa.
These aren't the names I see in travel guides.
No, and that's why they're affordable. These are residential, working-class areas. But the pros are huge. You get way more space. The rent is significantly lower, and you get a real community feel.
Well, like actual Japan.
Exactly. Local tofu shops, grandmas on bicycles, a very grounded lifestyle.
But the con is...
the commute. You are on the train for a long time, and Tokyo trains in rush hour are not for the faint of heart. Plus, the nightlife is subdued. The trains stop at midnight.
the Cinderella rule. Okay, so what about the central options? Minato Ward, Shibuya.
Yes, Minato is the center of the expat universe. Roppongi Azabujuban. This is where you live if you want English-speaking doctors and international supermarkets.
But I'm guessing the price tag reflects that convenience.
Oh, absolutely. Prices here are double or triple the outer wards. A one-bedroom can easily run you 300,000 yen a month or more.
That's pushing 2,000 US dollars plus.
Easily. You're paying to be in the center of the action.
So is there a happy medium? A Goldilocks zone?
The source highlights the lifestyle suburbs, places like Kichijoji, Nakano, and Shimokitazawa.
I've heard of Shimokitazawa. That's the vintage clothing bohemian vibe.
Exactly. It's the creative hub.
Uh-huh.
And Kichijoji is consistently voted the #1 place Tokyoites want to live.
Why is that?
It has everything. A beautiful park, great shopping, and it feels like a proper self-contained town.
And the rents.
Moderate. A studio might be 80,000 to 120,000 yen.
Yeah.
You get the cool factor and a manageable commute.
It really is a choice. The commuter, the high roller, or the hipster in the suburbs.
That's a great way to put it. And for many people, the hipster in the suburbs is the best way to experience Tokyo.
Okay, so we've picked our neighborhood, we've paid our million yen, we get the keys. Are we done? Can I finally drink that matcha?
You would hope so.
Yeah.
But this is where the logistics reach what the source calls boss level.
Of course. Why would it be easy?
You walk into your new apartment, it's empty. And I don't just mean no sofa. I mean no light fixtures, no curtains, and sometimes no stove burner.
Have to buy a stove?
Often, yes. And you have to set up utilities. Electricity and water are usually just a phone call. But gas.
What about gas?
Gas is tricky. You have to schedule an in-person appointment for a technician to come and manually open the valve while you are standing there.
So if you move in on a Friday and forget to call,
You are taking cold showers until Monday or Tuesday.
note to self, call the gas company first.
Correct. And then there's the 14-day rule. You must go to your local ward office and register your address within 14 days of moving in.
What happens if I don't?
It messes up your visa status, you can be fined, and you can't officially exist. No bank account, no health insurance, nothing. You are a non-entity.
And finally, the modern essential, internet.
Yes. In Japan, if the building isn't pre-wired, you could be waiting weeks for an installation appointment.
Weeks. In Tokyo.
It happens. The source warns this is a major disaster for remote workers.
Okay, I'm getting stressed just listening to this. There's the huge cash outlay, the guarantor hassle, the empty apartment. Surely there is a better way.
You have to ask yourself, is this worth it?
Exactly. Especially if you're a business traveler or someone on a 6-month project. You can't spend 3 weeks just setting up your life. You need to be productive on day one.
That's the question. Is there a shortcut? And the answer is yes, but it means stepping out of the traditional rental market entirely. This is where we look at serviced apartments and extended stays.
Right. Skipping the key money and guarantor headaches completely.
Exactly. The traditional route is just inefficient for shorter stays. This is where specialized services come in. The source specifically highlights moveandstay.com as a key player.
Moveandstay.com. How's that different from just booking a long stay at a hotel?
Well, a hotel for 3 months is depressing, let's be honest. It's too small, no kitchen, and wildly expensive. Moveandstay.com bridges that gap. They've been doing this for over 25 years, specializing in the Asia-Pacific region.
So they connect you with serviced apartments?
Service departments, hotels, even service offices. But the key is they're geared for stays longer than just a few days.
So furnished.
Fully furnished.
Yeah.
We're talking sofas, beds, silverware, and yes, light fixtures, and a stove
And the utilities.
included. Internet is working the second you walk in the door.
So no waiting for the gas guy.
No waiting for the gas guy. No sitting on the floor waiting for curtains. And crucially, no key money. No guarantor fees. You're paying for a service, not begging a landlord.
That sounds like a lifesaver for corporate teams.
It is. Their platform is really designed for that professional profile. People who need to hit the ground running. They're trusted by entrepreneurs and corporate teams who need a comfortable place to live and work abroad without all the drama.
It's basically the fast pass for living in Tokyo.
That's a great analogy. It's the professional route. You pay a premium on the monthly rate, obviously, but what you're buying is time and liquidity.
You're buying back your time.
And your cash flow. You don't lock up $7,000 in fees, and you don't lose 2 weeks to bureaucracy. It solves that gap period perfectly.
It's interesting. In the traditional market, you pay with your time, your stress, and your cash. With a service like this, you're paying for convenience and immediate functionality.
Correct. And for many modern professionals, convenience is the ultimate currency.
So bringing this all together, Tokyo is accessible, but you have to respect the process. It seems like there are two distinct paths here.
Yes. Path A is the local route. This is for the person committed to the long haul, has the savings, and wants that authentic experience of building a home from scratch.
It's hard mode, but the reward is total immersion.
Exactly. You get the community, you get the lower monthly rent eventually, and you feel like you conquered something.
And path B?
Path B is the professional route. You bypass the admin hurdles. You use a service department, like the ones on moveandstay.com, to handle the infrastructure. You trade the authentic struggle for a smooth landing.
It's funny you call it that. It almost feels like the difficulty is the point.
You know, I sometimes think the high barrier to entry, the key money, the paperwork, it acts as a sort of commitment test.
The commitment test.
Yes. Tokyo is demanding. It forces you to be sure you want to be there. The system forces you to invest, literally and figuratively. The landlord is saying, show me you're serious.
That's a really provocative thought. It's gatekeeping, but maybe useful gatekeeping.
Perhaps. But we also have to ask, in a world where talent moves fast, is that test worth the cost? Or is the city missing out on great people because the door is just too heavy to open?
That is the question. So to our listeners, if you're staring at that flight to Haneda, take a minute. Look at your bank account, but also look at your calendar. Ask yourself, do I have time to fight the boss level? Or do I need to pay for the cheat code?
Weigh your time against your budget. That's the real calculation.
And whatever you do, don't forget to change your socks. You'll be taking your shoes off a lot. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the Tokyo rental maze. We'll catch you on the next one.